Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. Is it audible sound? That's the first thing I want to check. Yeah. So before we start the class, just go through once potentiometer theory once you go, and using the theory, try to solve this question. And as we try to solve this question, it will be like a revision also. It will be like a revision also. Okay. So go through the concept of potentiometer, see the formula, whatever I have given in potentiometer, and try to solve this question. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Try to solve this question, everyone. So this is a potentiometer wire. I told you last time that usually this wire is kept like this. Like this. Okay, so this A and B will be kept like this, but I can always stretch it in a single wire and show you like this. Okay, so this is your potentiometer wire. This is your primary circuit. Primary circuit. Okay, the battery which will drive the current. The battery which will drive the current has EMF 2 volt. Internal resistance is negligible, and there is an external resistance of 32 ohm. The wire itself has a resistance 8 ohm, and the length of the wire is 4 meter. So what will be the potential gradient they are asking? Potential gradient. So before you start solving, try to check. Try to check what is potential gradient, what is the formula. Kirti is giving, Kirti, your answer is 2 or 0.1? 0.1. Pranjali is saying 0.1. Okay, let us check. Let us check. Okay, so what is the meaning of potential gradient? How do you define potential gradient? If somebody will ask for 1 mark, what is potential gradient for a wire? How do you answer? For 1 mark, okay, don't write 1 page. It is the potential difference per unit length. So you have to see the wire, take some length, find the potential difference, divide the potential difference by the length of the wire. If you choose the whole wire, you have to measure the potential difference across the whole wire. Understood or not? So if this is the wire, if you measure potential difference here, then you have to divide by this length. If you measure potential difference here, then you have to divide by this length. So potential difference per unit length, that is called potential gradient. Okay, for a potentiometer, it is a constant. For one potentiometer, it will be constant. Of course, if you change the circuit of the potentiometer, then potential gradient will change. So the formula, if you forget also, see, definition you try to remember. So since I know the length of the wire, I will write potential difference across the wire from here to here divided by length of the wire. Okay, so this is the formula. Now, what is potential difference for this wire? You know that this battery will send some current I. Yes or no? So potential difference from Ohm's law I can write, because this potentiometer wire will have some resistance 8 ohm they are saying. So it will be current into resistance of the wire divided by length of the wire. Revision I am doing. Current how much will be flowing, that you know already. EMF of the battery divided by total resistance. Current you know na. EMF divided by total resistance. This EMF of this battery. Okay. total resistance will be what? R external plus R internal plus R of the wire. The wire also has resistance, students, don't forget. In this problem, they said internal resistance is not there. So you can forget this one. Then what it will be? R external plus R of the wire. This is your current. Correct? Huh? Into R of the wire divided by length of the wire. So that formula you should know. So let us substitute now. Let us substitute and check. So what will be K equals to? EMF is 2 volt. External resistance in the circuit is 32. R of the wire is 8 into R of the wire divided by length of the wire. R of the wire is 8. Length of the wire is 4. So this will be 2 divided by 40 into 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 1 by 10, which will be 0.1. Okay, nobody has mentioned the unit. It will be volt per, this length is given in meter, so volt per meter. Okay, so every 1 meter, so this 4 meter you can divide into 4 parts. 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. So for every 1 meter, you get a potential difference of 0.1 volt. For every 1 meter, there will be a potential difference of 0.1 volt. Okay. So sometimes they will ask you potential gradient by giving this in the question. So easily you can find the potential gradient. I hope everybody understood. Just remember the formula, substitute. And if you forget the formula also, you can derive by knowing the definition. Then suppose I want to measure EMF of this cell. EMF of this cell. Then what we do? We connect the positive terminal here, and then negative terminal we connect to a galvanometer, and then we put a jockey here. Then we slide the jockey and we try to find the balance length. So they may say the balance length is, let's say, I don't know, let's say 1.5 meter. Balance length is 1.5 meter. So if balance length is given, then they may ask you to find EMF of the unknown cell. Then what I told you, whenever the galvanometer is balanced, that means no current is in this branch. No current is in this branch means potential difference here should be equal to here, right? If this is 2 volt, this also should be 2 volt, so that no current flows. Current only flows when there is potential difference. So here and here potential should be same. Then current will not flow. If here and here potential is same, you already know this and this will be at same potential. 10 volt, 10 volt. Example I am taking. That means potential difference here should be equal to here. Now, potential difference here when no current flows is nothing but EMF. And potential difference here is K into L. Yes or no? Why? Because K is what? Potential difference per unit length into length. Cost per unit apple into number of apples gives you cost of those apples. So this is potential difference per unit length into length will give you potential difference for this length. So if this potential difference equals this potential difference, then current will not flow. So that is what you have to do. You have to try to find the balance length. Understood or not? So here, see, in the question, they may give this, they may ask this, or they may give this, they may ask this and give this. So in this question, they have given you balance length. And EMF of the unknown cell will be how much? K was how much? 0.1 volt per meter. And this balance length is 1.5 meter. So EMF will be 0.15 volt. Okay. So like that, we can find the EMF. In another question, what they can do? They can give you the EMF and they may ask you the balance length. Okay, students. Now, if they put a shunt here, if they shunt this EMF, matlab across this EMF, if they put a external resistance capital R, now in this part current will flow. Even if you try to find the balance length, in this part current will flow. So the voltage here will be now terminal voltage and balance length will become slightly less. Understood? So let us say after, okay, that we will do in numerical, don't worry. So when we do numerical, that time you will understand. Okay. So, but you know that you can put this external resistance and then the voltage here will be terminal voltage. So that time the balance length will be slightly less. So that time the potential difference here will be terminal voltage and that should be equal to potential difference here. But the length will be slightly less. So it will be K into L dash. Okay, then what I did, if you remember, this and this I divided. If you divide, you will get, here let me write. So if you divide this E by this V, you will get E by V equal to L by L dash. So L is with only the cell, L dash is with this external resistance also. Okay, then internal resistance formula was what? E by V minus 1 into R. Whose internal resistance? This battery's internal resistance. So if they ask you to measure the internal resistance, that also you can do, because you can measure EMF in terms of length, terminal voltage in terms of length, and then you can substitute E by V, which is L by L dash minus 1 into R. In yesterday's class, I wrote here L1 and here I wrote L2. Okay. So quick revision I wanted to do, but revision if we do using numerical or some entrance problem, it is better, right? Because revision will also happen and one problem also we will solve. So that is the advantage, right? When you do revision using some problems. Okay. So let us continue yesterday's numerical exercise. Question number 2, you see. Question number 2. Students, am I audible to all of you? One of you can answer yes like that. Yeah. Question number 2, you see. In a meter bridge, yeah, enough. Understood. Chalo, concentrate now. Question number 2. In a meter bridge, the balance point is found to be 39.5 centimeter from the end A when the resistor S is of 12.5 ohm. So if you look the diagram, R is on the, you can't see the diagram. So I don't want to draw again the diagram. Yesterday also we have done. Okay, I will not draw. So R is on the left side, S is on the right side. So formula for meter bridge is what? R by S equals to L by 100 minus L. So R we don't know. S is given 12.5 ohm. Okay. And balance length is given 39.5. And this will be 100 minus 39.5. 100 minus 39.5. That will be 506. 60.5. So the first question is to calculate, determine the resistance of capital R. So very direct problem. So capital R will be what? This is the first part of the question. Just cross multiply 39.5 into 12.5 divided by 60.5. Somebody please do the calculation and tell me the answer. 8.16. 8.16. So that is the first part of the question. Second part is, why are the connections between the resistors in a Wheatstone or meter bridge made of thick copper strips? Already you know the answer. So this is part A. First, in part A, there are two parts. So why thick copper strips are used? So that resistance of the strips are neglected, can be neglected. Okay, we use thick copper strips so that resistance can be neglected of those copper strips. Then in part B, they are asking, determine the balance point. Matlab length we have to calculate, balance length we have to calculate of the bridge if R and S are interchanged. Directly also you can tell if R and S are interchanged. Okay, that means now your left resistor is S and your right resistor is R. Then what will be balance length they are asking? Okay, so balance length will change. So this will be the answer. If you interchange these two, then this also will interchange. Now, in a formula, this is 5 by 2 is equals to 10 by 4. So if you interchange here 2 by 5, this will also interchange 4 by 10. Correct or not? So directly we can tell, but in board exam better to calculate. So if you interchange R and S, if you interchange, then the left resistor will be S, right resistor will be R, and this unknown length we have to find. So S is 12.5, R is 8.16. This balance length we have to calculate. Solve yourself, you will get 100% this answer, 60.5. 60.5 centimeter. Okay, 100%. Just try to calculate. Last part, part C. What happens if the galvanometer and the cell are interchanged at the balance point of the bridge? Would the galvanometer show any current? Interesting question. So to understand this question, let us draw the circuit diagram once. And I will draw the Wheatstone bridge. It will be easy to see. Okay. So this is your Wheatstone bridge. PQRS. Here is your galvanometer and here is your battery. Correct? Now, what is the balance condition? P by Q equal to R by S. So when this condition is satisfied, no current will flow here. Okay. Now they are saying if galvanometer and battery are interchanged. Okay, don't just try to understand. For that question, you have to just write yes or no. Will it change or will it not change? So we have to try to understand. So if galvanometer and cell are interchanged, okay, then how will the diagram look now? Now what they are saying, these two are interchanged. So now here you have to put battery and here galvanometer. Okay. So this is what they are saying, interchange. Now after interchanging, you can redraw the diagram like this. PQRS, right? You can bring this battery here because this is just wire, right? So I can show the wire here also. It is the same thing. Yes or no? It is the same thing. If you have a resistor, whether you connect battery this way or if you have a resistor and you connect the same battery this way, or some other way like this, it doesn't matter. Okay, same current will flow in each one of them if the battery is same. So I'm going to connect the battery, which is here, this way. The point should be same. Point should be same. And this galvanometer I will show inside. Like this. Okay. So after interchanging, I can show this way. Now you turn this one like this. Once you turn it by 90 degree, this is how it will look. Turn this circuit this way. Turning something never changes it, remember. If I turn like this, I am still Pankaj sir. I will not be able to teach chemistry. Okay, I will not become Praveen sir. So if you turn this by 90 degree, this is how it will look. Can you tell me which one, what will be this resistor now? What will be this resistor? Once you turn this by 90 degree, what will be this resistor? Q. So this will be Q, this will be P, this will be S, this will be R, right? Now you can again repeat whatever balance, how we found balance condition for this. Repeat for this. What will you get? P by Q equal to R by S. So you will get Q by S equal to P by R. Just interchange. P by Q equal to R by S. That is the balance condition, no? So this will be the balance condition now. Is the balance condition same as this or different? This balance condition is same as this or different? Check once. It is same, because if you cross multiply, you can see Q you take here, R you take here. So you'll get R by S equal to P by Q. So it is very interesting to know. Make a note somewhere. Write the answer for the fourth question. By if galvanometer and cell are interchanged, the answer for that question will be this one. Everything you don't have to write in exam, just this one. If galvanometer and cell are interchanged, the balance condition and therefore the balance point will not change. Since the balance point did not change by changing the galvanometer and by interchanging the galvanometer and the battery, since balance point did not change, it means current will still not flow in the galvanometer. They were asking current will flow or not. Current will not flow. Will not flow in galvanometer. Okay, because it was balanced. It was balanced before. So afterwards also it will remain balanced. Right, first. If galvanometer and battery are interchanged, the balance condition remains the same. Therefore, balance length will be same. Therefore, no current will flow in the galvanometer. Let us see question number 3 now. Today I am going to do some very nice problems after I finish this, okay, for your PTE. So concentrate. Figure shows a potentiometer. So they have shown a potentiometer like this. This is the potentiometer wire, which usually they keep like this, I told. And this is your primary circuit. There is a battery, 2 volt, and internal resistance is shown here, 0.4 ohm, which maintains some potential difference here. We know that because of this battery, there will be some current, and therefore there will be some potential difference across the wire. This is your potentiometer wire. Let me slightly change it, okay? Let me show it like this so that you can see the difference between this wire and this wire. These wires are just connecting wires. External resistance is not shown here. Now, a standard cell which maintains a constant EMF of 1.02 volt gives a balance point. So, EMF of 1.02 volt gives balance length of 67.3 centimeter. Okay, matlab if you connect this cell here, then and you move the jockey here, the balance length here is 67.3 with this battery. Okay. Now, if you look carefully, they have done something here. Okay. This part looks slightly different. So in this part, they have put the cell that you want to measure. And if you look carefully, there is a huge resistance here. 600 kilo ohm. 600 kilo ohm. And something like this they have shown. And here galvanometer and jockey. To ensure very low currents drawn from the standard cell, this is your standard cell, a very high resistance 600 kilo ohm is put in series with it, which is shorted close to the balance point. Now, the standard cell is then replaced by a cell of unknown EMF. So, this cell is replaced by another cell, E2, which they don't know, which they are calling it E, which we don't know. And the balance point is found similarly, and it turns out to be L2 equals to 82.3 centimeter. What is this E? Array, this is simple only. This is based on what topic? Remember, I told you application of potentiometer. You can use potentiometer to compare EMF of two cells. So first they have connected this EMF here, then measured the balance length. Then they have connected unknown EMF and measured the balance length. What was the formula? E1 by E2 equals to L1 by L2. Okay, don't worry, I will talk about this also. Why they are keeping this here, I will talk. But right now, this is not important because we have to just solve this problem. So E1 by E2 is L1 by L2. This formula we have done yesterday, right? Okay. So since you want E2 cross multiply, E2 will be L2 by L1 into E1. So E2 you cross multiply, L2 will come here, L1 will come here. So L2 is 82.3, L1 is 67.3. So first you divide, then you multiply with the EMF of the known cell, 1.02. Okay, 1.02. What is the answer? 1.247. So 1.25 you can write. 1.247 also you can write, or 1.25, no problem. So again, see students, this question was very lengthy, but if you read carefully and then you realize it is based on comparison of two EMFs. So directly we have done. Now let us understand what is the purpose of this. As I told you, you have to move the jockey and you have to find the balance point. Yes or no? You have to move the jockey and you have to find the balance point. If this is the balance point, then at that point, the potential difference here will be equal to here. And how much resistor you put here, that will not change the balance point. Why, sir? Because during balance point, no current flows here. Yes or no? During balance point, no current flows here. So no matter how much resistance you put, there will be no voltage here. There will be no voltage here. So voltage here will be only EMF. For example, imagine this EMF is 10 volt. And here I put some resistor, 1 crore or whatever ohm. Now, if I want potential difference between these two, if I want potential difference between these two, and if no current is flowing this way or that way, then you know there will be no voltage here. Yes or no? So the voltage here will be directly the voltage of the EMF, right? Terminal voltage, E minus IR. I is not there. So no matter how much R you keep here, it doesn't matter. So keeping a high resistance here, remember, keeping a high resistance here or any resistance here will not change the balance point. So for 1 mark, if they ask, does the balance point depend on the resistance of this branch? Answer is no, it does not depend. Then why are we keeping it? Well, the reason why we are keeping it is because initially we don't know the balance point. We are searching for balance point. We are moving the jockey like this. When you do experiment, you will come to know. So we are moving the jockey. So when you are somewhere here or you are somewhere here, that time current will flow, because that time the voltage here and here will not be same. So that time there will be some current, and we don't want that current to be very high. If that current is very high, then this galvanometer will get damaged. Okay, the needle will go patak like that, too much, and then the spring may get loose. The spring which is there inside the galvanometer, which I will be teaching you in magnetism chapter. So to ensure, to ensure small current here, when you are not at the balance point, what we are doing, we are putting a high resistance. So this high resistance, let me write down so that you can remember. So the high resistance in the secondary circuit, will ensure the current through galvanometer is small when we are not at balance point. When we are not at balance point. Okay, so when we are not at balance point, that time you don't want too much current to flow here. Otherwise, the galvanometer may get damaged. So for that purpose, to keep the current small, we are putting here a high resistance. Okay, students. But once you get the balance point, then the potential difference here will be still equal to E only, not this. This will not play any role because there will be no current that time. So there will be no voltage here. Okay. So keep in mind this part. Question number 4. Already I did in the morning actually. The first question that I did today while revising. Make a note quickly. So remember, your balance point will not depend on the resistance of the secondary circuit. Question number 4, you see. A potentiometer wire of length of the wire. I write LW. So W, if you see, it is length of the potentiometer wire. 100 centimeter. Has a resistance. This is resistance of the wire. 10 ohm. It is connected in series with a resistance, and that resistance is your external, which they are not given, and a battery of EMF 2 volt and negligible internal resistance. Very similar to the question which I gave in the morning. A source of EMF 10 millivolt. So this is the EMF which we are going to measure, but they have given the value. 10 millivolt is balanced against a length. Balance length is 40 centimeter. What is the value of the external resistance they are asking? Also find the potential gradient. Okay. So since this is given, see, it is very simple question. See, this is given. So this EMF which they are going to measure, that also they have given, and balance length also they have given. So using this information, I can find K. So EMF that is measured is equal to K into L, correct, right? Okay. So K will be what? EMF by length, balance length. EMF is 10 millivolt. So 10 into 10 power minus 3 volt. And 40 centimeter means 40 into 10 power minus 2 meter. SI units I am converting, SI units. Okay. So EMF that is measured is given 10 millivolt, 10 into 10 power minus 3. Length, balance length is 40 centimeter. Don't get confused with length of the wire and balance length. If you draw the diagram, I hope you remember. Okay, I will not draw again. Okay, already I have done. So that will be 1 by 4 into 10 power minus 1. So 1 by 4 will be how much? 0.25 into 10 power minus 1. Right? 0.025 volt per meter, which can also be written as 25 volt per centimeter. Okay. If you convert this meter in centimeter, you have to multiply by 100. Oh, it will become more small actually. So check whether it is correct or not once. Is it correct? Check once, all of you. 0, 0 cancel. 1 by 4, 0.25. Then this 10 power minus 2 will go up plus 2. Minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1. So 0.025 volt per meter. So potential gradient can be found directly from these two information. Now external resistance they are asking. Now we know that. So remember the value, okay? Now we know that this is also EMF of battery. R external plus R internal is 0. R of the wire, this is the current. This is the current into resistance of wire, that is the potential difference, divided by length of the wire. So this formula I have already given. So this time they have given you K. K is how much? 0.025. Right? EMF of the battery is 2 volt. R external, let me write simply R, which we have to find. R of the wire is 10 ohm. R of the wire is 10 ohm. Length of the wire is 1 meter because I am using SI units. So once 100 centimeter means 1 meter. So if you cross multiply, R plus 10 will be 20 divided by 0.025. Correct now? Cross multiply. R plus 10 will come here. 2 into 10 is 20. 0.025 will come downstairs. So R plus 10 will be equal to 25. 20 divided by 25 into 10 power minus 3 will go up. So 1000. 25 4 is 100. So 0. So this will be 8000. 4 2 are 8. 8000. Okay. So finally R will be how much? 8000 minus 10. 0997. Okay. So I hope everything is correct. R plus 10 here, 0.025 down. This is 25 into 10 power minus 3. It will be plus 3. Plus 3 means 1000. 25. 4 is 100. So 10. 4 2 are 8. 00. Correct. Fine. Okay. 800. Sorry. 800. So this will be 799. 790. Sorry. 790 ohm. Okay. Small mistake. So please try to remember this kind of question. It may be asked in your NEET exams also. So last question of this is based on internal resistance. How to find internal resistance using potentiometer. Already you know. So let us do it fast. Figure shows. So please see the figure. Potentiometer used for determination of internal resistance of 1.5 volt. So here there is a battery 2 volt and it is connected to this potentiometer wire. Okay, 2 volt, and for determination of internal resistance of a 1.5 volt. So here 1.5. This is galvanometer and this is your balance point. The balance point in open circuit. Now the balance point of the cell in open circuit is 76.3 centimeter. 76.3 centimeter, this guy. Now when a resistor of 9.5 ohm is used here, they have shown dot dot like this. Then you know that once you connect this resistor here, capital R, this is the EMF of the cell to be measured, and this is given 1.5 volt. Once you put this resistor, voltage here will be terminal voltage, so you know your balance point will decrease, and the balance point is now 64.8 centimeter. 64.8 centimeter. Determine the internal resistance. So already we know the formula. So first balance point is with only EMF. Second balance point is with this external resistance here. When this external resistance is there, current will be this side at least. This side it will not be there. Here it will be there. So because of this current, the voltage here will be terminal voltage. So what is the formula for internal resistance? L1 by L2 minus 1 into capital R. This is with open circuit. This is with closed circuit. So when there was no external resistance, the balance length was 76.3. When there is capital R, balance point is 64.8 minus 1. External resistance is 9.5 ohm. When I say external, I mean this part, okay, not here. Here they have not given any external resistance. Okay, how much will it be? Divide these two first, subtract with 1, then multiply with 9.5. If you get the right answer, 1.7 you should get. Check once. 1.0615. Vishwas is getting 1.7. Okay. So this completes the numerical exercise. Okay. Let us see exam corner 3.4. Exam corner 3.4. First question. Again, if the solutions are in writing very long, I will be sharing with you in Google Classroom. Here, writing notes will be difficult. Explanation I will give. First question. Would you prefer a voltmeter or a potentiometer to measure EMF? Tell me, voltmeter or potentiometer? V or E, what will you use? P, sorry, potentiometer matlab P you can write. Potentiometer, why? Because potentiometer is based on balance condition, balance point, whereas voltmeter is based on deflection method. So for voltmeter, the needle should deflect. For needle to deflect, current should flow. But if current flows, then the voltage that you measure will be terminal voltage. So the answer is potentiometer. Potentiometer will measure the exact EMF, not the terminal voltage. Question number 2. For the circuit shown below, answer the following questions. So let us show the circuit. 2 volt, 0.4 ohm. Here there is this potentiometer wire. And here there is the cell that you want to measure. And here one high resistance they have put. and this is going to galvanometer to a jockey. Okay, let us answer. What purpose? This already I have answered. What is the purpose of this high resistance? So the purpose of this high resistance is to make sure that when you are not at balance point, that time current will flow. When you are at balance point, matlab when voltage here will be equal to voltage here, that time current will not flow here. Understood or not? So be careful about that. So to ensure small current here, why you want small current? So that the galvanometer is not damaged. So that is the reason why you are putting this high resistance. Question number B, part B. Is the balance point affected by this high resistance? No, because at balance point no current flows. So it is not affected. I will share the answer in Google Classroom. So part B, no. Is the balance point affected by internal resistance of the standard cell? I think by standard cell they mean this only. Okay, so they have to be very careful about this. Maybe I told this one. So by standard cell they should. Purpose I have given in writing also, Tejaswini, before. While in writing I have given. Matlab to ensure small current here. If resistance is high, current will be small, na? That's it. So to ensure small current when you are not at balance point. In writing I gave you before. Part C, is the balance point affected by the internal resistance of this? Answer is no. Answer is no, because when balance point is achieved, no current flows. So whatever resistance is here, internal, external, what null, it doesn't matter. Part D is interesting, so concentrate. Part D. Would the method in the above situation work? Would the method work in the above situation if the driver cell, this they are calling as driver cell. I think I also called it driver. It will drive current. If the EMF of the driver cell has an EMF less than EMF that you want to measure. For example, this is 2 volts. Suppose you want to measure 3 volt. Suppose you want to measure 3 volt. Matlab this EMF is less than this. Will it work? What do you think? Yes or no? Will this method work? Will it work or not? Now, some of you are saying no, but why it will not work? The reason why it will not work is, look here. Whatever voltage here, maximum is possible is 2 volt. Actually, the voltage here will be less than 2 volt because of this internal resistance, remember. So the voltage here will be maximum 2 volt. Actually, slightly less than, it will be 2 volt. Because of the internal resistance, there will be some drop here also. So this, whatever voltage here you get will be terminal voltage, yes or no? So the voltage here will be slightly less than 2 volt, but maximum is 2 volt. So let me just assume it is 2 volt. Let us assume this internal resistance is very small. Now here the maximum voltage is 2 volt. Now you want to measure 3 volt. But where will you keep the jockey? Because if you keep the jockey here, that time this will be 2 volt, potential difference here 2 volt, potential difference here 3 volt. It is not equal. So the balance point will not be achieved. So you will have to move this somewhere here, but there is no wire only. Understood or not? And if you keep it here, it will be less, because suppose you keep it exactly in the middle. So if here potential difference is 2 volt, here potential difference will be 1 volt, because in potentiometer, potential difference is proportional to length, remember. So for this much length, if I assume potential difference is 2 volt by the battery, then here it will be 1 volt. Then you can measure 1 volt. You can measure 1 volt by putting this jockey in the middle, because then this voltage and this voltage will match. But if this is more than this, then you will not get any balance point, because this is 3 volt. Imagine this is 2 volt. So maximum here is 2 volt. So where will you keep the jockey? If you keep it here, maximum 2 volt you will get. More than that, there is no wire only. Understanding or not? Yes or no? So please understand that for the method to work, whatever voltage here is there, the maximum voltage across the wire given by driver cell should be, this voltage here should be greater than the cell EMF to be measured. So this should be, if this is like, let's say 10 volt, then here if you get 10 volt, 3 volt you will get somewhere here. Understood now? So this is the reason why it will not work. Okay, so the answer is no. Part E. Would the circuit work well for determining an extremely small EMF, say of the order of few millivolts? So now you want to measure EMF which is very, very small, few millivolts. मतलब 1 millivolt, it's मतलब 0.001 volt. So if you want to measure a very, very, very small EMF, will it work? They are asking. Okay, will it work? If not, how can you modify the circuit? Now usually this was 2 volt. So here potential difference maximum can be 2 volt. Assume this is very small. This actually small only, 0.4 is small only. Now listen carefully. If this is very small, then where your jockey should be? Your jockey should be extremely close here. Right? Yes or no? This is 2 volt, this is 1 volt, this is maximum 2 volt. So this is 1 volt, this is 0.5, this is 0.25. But you want to measure 0.001 volt. So to measure this volt, your jockey has to be kept very close to this. If it is too close, then you will not be able to measure the balance length only, because it will be smaller than the least count. If it is smaller than the least count, you will not be able to measure. So how to write the answer? Look here. Anyway, such questions has never been asked in board exam. In board exam, they will ask application of potentiometer like that. What is potentiometer? Define potential gradient like that. But all these questions are there in NCERT. And nowadays, as I have told you, entrance people are using NCERT textbook to prepare questions from there. So it is always better to solve all the questions which are there in NCERT, including the conceptual questions, not only the numerical questions. So in part E, if the cell to be measured, if E is very small, then balance length will be extremely small. Okay. So while measuring it, it may not be possible, because it may become less than the least count. So the method will not work. Now they are asking, how can you modify the circuit so that it works? Now, how can you modify? Look here. You have to try to increase the balance length. Yes or no? Yes or no, students? Now look here. EMF is K into L. This is fixed. You want to measure certain EMF, that is fixed. Now balance length is very small right now. So what I want to do, I want to increase the balance length. Which means I have to decrease the potential gradient. To decrease the potential gradient is same as increasing the sensitivity or decreasing the sensitivity. Decreasing potential gradient means increasing the sensitivity or decreasing the sensitivity. Increasing, because sensitivity last class, yesterday only I told. Okay, your memory should be at least 1 day long. No, at least 1 day long. It should be without revision. If you do revision, you can answer. I know. So potential gradient and sensitivity are inversely proportional. So to increase the sensitivity, matlab to measure small EMF also, we want this potential gradient to be small so that this balance length will become more. This is fixed. Now this you want to measure. This is fixed. You want to measure 0.0001 volt. 1 millivolt you want to measure, fixed. But if you don't make this very small, then this will be very small. Therefore, balance length will be difficult to measure. So if this is fixed and you want to increase the balance length, you have to decrease the potential gradient. So answer is we have to decrease K. We have to decrease K, matlab in exam potential gradient. And how can we make potential gradient small? Potential gradient can be small by increasing the external resistance. By increasing the external resistance, right? If you look at the formula, K was EB by R wire plus R external plus R internal, like that. Yes or no? R wire divided by length of wire. So to decrease this, you just increase the external resistance. So put a very high resistance here. Then you will be able to measure small EMFs also. Such a beautiful question. Okay. So we have completed this chapter, students, successfully. Board syllabus is completed. If it was normal class, I would have asked you to clap also. But now if you clap also, I can't hear the sound. So no point clapping. Okay. Now we are going to discuss some interesting problems to find the equivalent resistance. Okay, if you remember some few days back, today's class will be now based on entrance. Entrance corner I will do a little bit later. First, I want to do some very interesting problems based on this chapter. Now look carefully, listen carefully. Last time I gave you this circuit. Please draw, you may have to draw. Yeah. And we found equivalent resistance between these 2 points. This and this. Diagonally opposite corner. Okay, we used Kirchhoff's voltage law. We got some current here, 6I, 3I, 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 it divided, and then we were able to find. Okay, answer was something I forgot. So some answer we got. But what if they ask you not between the body diagonal, but between the face diagonal? Face diagonal. Face diagonal means, let us say I want between this and this. Then it becomes quite complicated to use Kirchhoff's voltage law. Because whatever current coming here will not divide equally here, here, and here. This tree will not have same current because the path is not same. This path is identical. This path is same, I know, to reach here. But to reach from here to there is not identical. So here it becomes complicated. So we will use something called path symmetry. Path symmetry. So listen carefully, all of you. Listen very carefully. Already you all know that I have taught you about parallel axis symmetry, perpendicular axis symmetry, yes or no? Now we will discuss path symmetry. So path symmetry is very simple, very simple. Look here. Suppose there is a circuit like this. To make your life simple, let me take like this. And this is R, this is R, this is R, this is R. Now look here. To go from here to here, to go from here to there, between whichever points they want, from that point you go to the other point. So from here to here, current will go here, then it will divide. Now check whether this path is symmetrical to this path. Is it symmetrical or not? This path and this path are symmetrical or not? Just quickly, yes or no. Y or N to save your time. Is the path symmetrical or not? Yes, the path is symmetrical. The concept is if the path is symmetrical, current must divide equally. Meaning, if this is I, this also should be I. Now listen carefully. If current here is high, current here is I, then voltage here and voltage here and voltage here will be same. Voltage here will be I into R, voltage here I into R. So if voltage here and here are same, then it means if I call these 2 points C and D, then it means C comma D will be at same potential. Will be at same potential. Why, sir? Why same potential? Because potential difference here and here should be same, students. Matlab, if this is 10 volt, this is 2 volt. What is the difference here? 8 volt. So here also it should be 8 volt. That means this also should be 2 volt. Understanding? So since this point and this point should be at same potential, what you can do is you can join these two like this. You can join this point with this point. That is allowed. Why it is allowed? Because the 2 points have same potential. So electrically they are same. You can join them. So once you join, how the circuit will look now? You can join these 2 points like this. Like this here. So C and D are same point now. And here again this resistor. So R, 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 R. So now what will be equivalent of this? Equivalent. R and R in parallel, R by 2. Yes or no? R and R parallel will be how much? R into R, R plus R in parallel. So it will be R by 2. So this will be R by 2, this will be R by 2. R by 2, R by 2 total will be how much? In series. No, this R by 2 and this R by 2 will be in series. So it will be R. And if you check, is it R or not? Check once. These two are in series, 2R. These two are in series, 2R. 2R and 2R in parallel will be R itself. That means this method will work. Of course, we don't do this way, right? Why to do this way for this problem? If they ask find equivalent resistance of this circuit, nobody will do this way. But the concept is important. So when current, if you want equivalent resistance between 2 points, always those 2 points will be mentioned. You have to think to go from here to here, how many paths are available to the current? How many paths are available? Then you have to check, are there any paths which are symmetrical? If it is symmetrical, then the opposite points must be at same potential. Opposite points matlab this point and this point. So that is the main concept behind teaching this. Okay. Now look here. So for the current here, to go from here to here, okay, it has got one path, look here, like this. One path is like this. One path is like this. And another path could be like this. Then it can again divide here, here, and then come here. So this is another path. But this path, first path, second path, third path, which are symmetrical? First and second, or first, second, third, all of them? First and second are symmetrical, or first and third one? Which is symmetrical? Symmetrical, I'm asking. Matlab, the current should see same resistance. First and second are symmetrical. So since this path and this path are symmetrical, if I call this point C, D, E, F, G, H, then it means G comma H are at same potential. Are same potential. G and H. Opposite points should be at same potential. Okay. Similarly, this current coming here has now, it can, this path, see, it can go like this. So again, you can see this path and this path are also symmetrical to reach here. Since these two paths are also symmetrical, matlab including this also you can take this one here. So here this is one possibility, and here there is one possibility. Those two paths are equivalent. So these 2 points, or you can say these 2 points. So these 2 points D comma E, D comma F are at same potential. So this is what we have to first find. Once we know they are at same potential, then see what I can do. Once I know they are at same potential, I can join those 2 points. So G and H can be joined. Matlab this point can be put here, and this point can be put here. Okay. When you do that, these two will come in what? If I put this here, these two resistors will come in what combination? Imagine I'm pushing this one, this point here. Then these two will come in what combination? Right now it is like this, no? If I join these two like this, in what combination it will come? Parallel. So this and this will be in parallel. This and this will be in parallel. This and this will be in parallel. This and this will come in parallel. This and this will come in parallel. Only this and this will stay like that. Understood? And already we know R and R in parallel is how much? R by 2. So let us redraw the diagram. This is your terminal A. This part is unchanged. This is your C. So that part is unchanged, right? Now here, once I put this H here, these two will be replaced by one resistor. So these two can be replaced by one resistor. That will be R by 2. This will come here. So this is your G comma H. Once it comes there, you can notice these two in the bottom that are also in parallel. So R by 2, right? Yes or no? Once I put this here, these two will be in parallel. So that will be your which terminal? D. Okay, now let us go to the top part. This and this will come in parallel. That will be R by 2. These two are which points now? D comma F. These two will come in parallel. So R by 2. Please remember, R and R in parallel will be R by 2. So these two will come in parallel. That will be your E point. And E and B, this will be unchanged. This will be unchanged. What is missing now? This one. This straight one and this straight one. Between D and G. Between D and G. And between F and H. Between F and H. Also there will be these two resistors. These two. Understanding or not? It is difficult for me to show you these two. So once you push this line there like this, these two will come in parallel. So that will be also R by 2 here. R by 2. Now though it is very simple. Once you do like that, you can see these two are in series. These two are in series. So I can again redraw. This is R by 2. This is R by 2. R by 2. R by 2. This 2 can be replaced by one resistor. Right? How much it will be? R plus R by 2. R plus R by 2 will be 3R by 2. So here I can put one resistor 3R by 2. These two can be replaced by one resistance 3R by 2. That is your D point. D comma F. Here R by 2 is there in the middle. Similarly, these two can be replaced by one resistor 3R by 2. Now, if you check, this is your Wheatstone bridge circuit. This is your Wheatstone bridge circuit. Is it Is it balanced or not balanced? Check once. PQRS galvanometer resistance. Balanced or not balanced? It is balanced. So it is balanced bridge. Since it is balanced, the middle one is useless. This is useless. So finally I will get, let me rub this part now. So finally you will get, once I remove this part, it will look something like this. Like this. This is your A, this is your B. So 3R by 2, 3R by 2, R by 2, R by 2. Right? So this part can be removed because it is balanced. So now once you do that, this upper one, these two are in series. These two are also in series. So it will further simplify, and R by 2 series will give you R. 3R by 2, 3R by 2 in series will give you 3R by 2 plus 3R by 2, 3R. Now finally you can see these two are in parallel between A and B. So what is the equivalent resistance? 3R into R, 3R plus R. That will be 3 by 4R. Okay. So you can see, using the concept of path symmetry, we are able to solve this problem much easier than, see, it took time for me because I was writing everything. Otherwise it will happen very easily once you know this point can be joined with those points. Okay, write fast. If it is done, then one of you can tell me. Naveen, you use the same method or Kirchhoff's voltage law? If you use Kirchhoff's voltage law, it will be very complicated. Oh, in WhatsApp I did. Let us do same question, but for other points. Okay. Last question, not last question, still some time is there, but it depends how much this will take. So again, this cube is given. Between these two, I have done easily. So I will not repeat that one. You can try at home between these two by using path symmetry. Let us try between this and this. So these are the three possibilities. They can ask you between body diagonal, face diagonal, or across one side. Okay. So now you have to start from here and come back here. So look carefully. You can see to start from here and come here, one path is this. One path is this, right? Another path is this. First one, second one, and one path is this. Third one. Which one are symmetrical? Which ones are symmetrical? Obviously, you know the answer. First and second are symmetrical. Don't go there now. You have to come here. You have to check the points. So if I give some names now, C, B, E, F, G, H, I, J is not needed. Now look here. This path is symmetrical to this path. That means opposite points C and H. This path is symmetrical to this path. So C comma H will be at same potential. C and H. Similarly, G and F. G opposite points will be at same potential. Okay. So what that simply means is you can smash this here. You can put this there. Okay. And you can smash this here. So once you do that, this and this will be in parallel. Once this comes here, this and this will be in parallel. Once this goes there, so let us redraw. Let us redraw. Best thing is to redraw. So between A and B, right? This will be unchanged, right? This will be R. So this will be R. Now, when I put this point there, this and this will smash to one another. So this point will be C comma H. C and H will be same point, and these two will be replaced by R by 2. R by 2. Similarly, here, this is D. These two will be in parallel. So this is your D point, right? So this between C and D and between H and D, that is also R. So that will be also R by 2 in parallel. Similarly, here if I do here, okay, this once I put this G here, these two will come in parallel, right? Because G and F are same potential. So this is your G comma F. That will be R by 2, right? This and this. Similarly, this will come here. So this will be your E. This will be R by 2. Okay. Let me slightly move it like this. Fine. Then what is left? Then where is this one? This is between C and G. So C and G. Where is this one? Between H and F. H and F. So two resistors here, R and R. That will become R by 2. Then what is left? This one between D and E. Between D and E, it will be only R. But that is not coming to parallel with anyone, right? So these two go to parallel. Sorry, these two go to parallel. These two go to parallel. This, once you smash it, this and this will come to parallel. This and this. Similarly here, did I miss this part? This part? No, that part, this part and this part will also come in parallel. This part will come in parallel with this part. This part will come in parallel with this part. This part will be left. So this is how your circuit will look. After that, it is very easy. Once you have done that, it is very easy. Now you can see these three are in series, right? So what will be total of that? First you draw this part. See, again, no need to show so many things. Don't show this one, no need to show this one, no need to put these circles. These circles I just put to show you clarity. You have to only try to remember these two arrows so that you know which ones will come in parallel. Students, this is very difficult to explain, but still I am trying my best. Okay, and I'm hoping all of you are understanding. I'm hoping all of you are understanding. Okay, once I smash this here and this here, these two will be in parallel, these two will be in parallel. You can replace them by R by 2. Okay, now you can see the upper one, it is in series. So R by 2, R, R and R in series 2R. So I can redraw now. This is R, here it is R by 2, here it is R by 2, here it is R by 2, and here I can write total of these three, I can write 2R. Then this 2R and this R by 2 are in parallel. So after this, you try to solve yourself. Anybody who has got the answer, let me know. Yeah, some of you have got. Others also, please try. These two are in parallel, so use the formula R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay. So this 2 will give you 2R into R by 2, 2R plus R by 2. That will be 2R square by 2 divided by 5R by 2. 2 cancel, 2R by 5. So total of this will be 2R by 5. Then that 2R by 5, 2R by 5, this is the total of this. Then this 2R by 5 will be in series with R by 2 and R by 2. So plus R by 2 plus R by 2. That will give you 2R by 5 plus simply R. That will be 5, 7R by 5. So this part, this whole thing will be 7R by 5. Then 7R by 5 and this R will be in parallel. So please do that part. You will get finally, as most of you are saying, 7R by 12. Now, need students, what you should do is understand the concept, no problem. It is very good to understand the concept and apply it and solve. But I want you people to make a small paper, write on a small paper, draw the cube and draw the terminals. First terminal should be body diagonal, then face diagonal, which I did today, then side. For each one of them, you write the answer, only the answer, not the description. Description, you have the notes which you are writing right now. So only the answer, and try to memorize the answer. Because if this comes in exam, you should be able to directly tick. So previous one was how much? 3R by 4. Am I right? Previous one was 3R by 4. Or yeah, I think 3R by 4. This one is 7R by 12. And the first one, you have to check my notes. Or you can try tonight using symmetry. So using path symmetry, shall I explain the main concept behind path symmetry again? So let me try to explain once more. See, they will give you some circuit, and between 2 points, you have to find equivalent resistance. Try to go from one point to the other point through different paths which are possible. Check which paths are symmetrical. For those paths, the corresponding opposite points will be at same potential, as I explained in the beginning. Once you know it is at same potential, you can join them. In other words, this 3D structure we have converted into a plane structure, plane. And once it becomes a plane structure, then it is easy to solve. Last one question we will be doing now, at least because we still have time. So entrance corner 3.4, question number 1. Okay, we will still solve, continue students. One question we will do, simple question it is. A resistance capital R is to be measured using a meter bridge. Student chooses the standard resistance S to be 100 ohm. R is to be measured, S is 100 ohm. Using what instrument? Meter bridge. He finds the null point L equals to 2.9 centimeter. Now this is good or bad? This kind of null point is good or bad? So what do you mean by good or bad? You only answer yesterday's class. If you have heard properly, you will be able to answer. This kind of balance point is good or bad, students? It is bad, because balance point should be always near the midpoint, near 50. So this is too close to the one end. When it is very close to one end, your error will increase. Okay. So what question is saying is, he is told by, I think, Pankaj sir, to attempt to improve the accuracy. So to improve the accuracy, which of the following way he should use, they are asking. So what we will do, we will calculate the unknown resistance first. Yes, there will be error, but it will be near to the right answer only. So what was the formula? What was R? In NCERT, R is in the left one or on the right one? I forgot. R is on the left one or left one. So R by S will be equal to L by 100 minus L. So L is 2.9. This is 97.1. Cross multiply with S. This will be 2.1 by 97.1 into S is given 100. 100. Okay, so now you can feel it. Students, don't waste your time calculating for entrance exam. You can feel that this is approximately 3. Yes or no? This will be 100 divided by 97.1 will be more than 1 point something, more than 1 it will be. So 1 point something into 2.9 will be 3 something. So approximately 3 is the unknown resistance. So to get the balance point near the middle, if you want this to be around 50, already in the class I have told you, if you want this to be around 50, which improves your accuracy, then what I told, R and S should be approximately same, right? If these two are same, exactly same, let us assume, then L will be exactly 50 centimeter. That means what you should do, the standard resistance should be replaced by how much? Around 3 ohm. So standard resistance, capital S, should be around 3 ohm, same as R, so that your balance point will be around 50 centimeter, which improves the accuracy. Such a beautiful question, you see. Simple also, but again you should know the meaning of error. Okay, students, thank you. Have a good evening. Which is the right option, by the way? Which is the right option? At least tell me that. Oh, please, in option C, students, in option C, please make it 3 ohm. By mistake, they have written 30 ohm. Is it 30 ohm written or 3 ohm only? 3 ohm only. Since all of you are saying 30, huh? Please make it 3. Please make it 3 ohm. Okay. It can't be 30, you know. Chalo, take care now. Revise that path symmetry if you are interested for entrance exam. Otherwise, concentrate for board exam, no problem. Thank you.